Namaste and good day. Happy full moon to you all. We're in a little different orientation for tonight's ceremony. I'm very excited to be resolving the year with all of you. Before we kind of dive into it, just want to give you a little download of what we'll be up to tonight. If you are joining me not live, you will have the option below. There's some tags if you want to jump around and visit certain activities. You can certainly make this practice whatever you want. And for those of you who are joining me live, hello, please leave a note on the chat, whichever side it is of me. And I'd love to connect with you that way. I'll bring out my iPad here in a little bit and I can chat back. But what we'll be doing tonight is we'll get a little bit of movement. We'll do some shaking and kind of release any holding that we have from this wild and crazy year. We'll then kind of transform that into some dancing or whatever kind of movement you want to explore with some music, and then we'll settle down for some meditation. We'll do our vision boarding, and if you haven't ever done one, this is a nice year too, I think, as we are building or rebuilding our dreams and things in this next year. This is mine from last year, and I'm gonna use this as a bit of a base for mine this year. I have some craft supplies, and you can either pause me now and go gather some if you'd like, or you can do that later on. I just have some magazines, some paper, pens, scissors, those types of things, and then some Mod Podge or glue is nice and handy to get it stuck. But even if you don't have a board or a sheet of paper that you want to work on, I've also done my vision board things just up on a wall with some tape and stuff, so know that is an option as well. You don't have to necessarily have a board. You can go beyond it. And then once we're done with our vision boarding time, we'll resolve and kind of close out the year. Again, I'm super happy, super grateful for all of you for joining. I am going to just put ourselves on a little bit of mood lighting. And I'd invite you to clear a little bit of your space if you haven't done so already, if you don't have that set up. I will be standing eventually, and we'll kind of just get moving. But before we do any of that, let's just come to arrive. Whether you want to be seated or standing, that's up to you. Let's just find a little bit of breath. It's been a difficult year. Unique challenges and struggles have visited us all. And whatever your experience of this year has been, just honor that reality. We're not here to escape. We're here to reflect, gain a little bit of perspective tonight, perhaps, as we look back on what will certainly be a memorable time in our lives. Just allow yourself to arrive here on this full moon, illuminated by insight and wisdom to carry you forward on your journey. Aho. If you aren't yet already standing, let's come to that place. When you are in a standing position, find some firm grounding through your feet. Bend your knees. Maybe even give yourself a little bounce here just to relax the body. Let the limbs support you. And close the eyes if you can, if it feels stable. Root yourself into this ritual that you've gifted yourself tonight. Let's do a little bit of shaking. Just get the energy moving through us. Start with the hands, nice and easy. Just a little shake, a wobble. You even flick the fingers, move them around. Continue to breathe. Let's bring that into the arms and flap your wings a little bit. It's okay if you feel a little silly. You're not the one doing it in front of a camera. I can tell you that. Just let yourself smile. Those eyes can be closed. Just let yourself express. Move how you need to move. Just intuitively. The shoulders can shimmy as the torso starts to move. And then head and the neck can just follow easefully. Not a whole lot of movement there. And then let's bring it into the rest of the body, the hips, the legs. Just move the energy down through the body, return it to the earth, or cast it out towards the sky. Continue to breathe. Maybe a big sigh. You can jump up and down. Spin around, just be safe in your space. Let your jaw be relaxed. Just a little longer, keep it going. Just shake the body. No right or wrong. Make a little contact with your body now. Give yourself a little rub or a tap tap. Shake the other parts that might not be receiving that touch just a little longer. 3, 2, 1. Let's resolve. Come to stillness. Body will probably continue to move a little bit. Just listen in, tune in. Place one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly. And feel that breath. Slowing and calming. A little contrast to your heart beating. Now let's start to move. Maybe just a sway to begin. And just flow. Use your limbs to lead you. If you want to visit some yoga poses, that's certainly welcome. Whatever expression, physical movement you want to do, this space is open for. Explore your space. Let yourself live and breathe everywhere. There's another tune coming. Just let the body move even in silence. You don't have to match a rhythm. If it's slow, maybe you still move fast. If it's fast, maybe you move a little slower. I'll do one more song. Just moving. Breathing. If you're still grooving, you can continue to groove as I start to transition our space. We'll move towards some meditation now. So whatever you need to do to make that work for you. Wherever you find a place to resolve, settle in. If you need a sip of water or tea, nourish yourself here with that. Having moved around, activated the body and the breath, those two things become just a part of your awareness. Be aware of breathing here. On this day, in this place you find yourself, here. And now, The new year tempts us with time and space possibilities. And as we anticipate a shift back to maybe some familiar things, or plan for shifts into new ways of life, let us not forget that everything is a process. As much as we always want to encourage our dreams, let us learn from our reality of time, and expect that process. Let us even manifest that process. Here I'd like you to imagine that goal, that intention, even just a feeling in your life or lifestyle that you wish to cultivate through the next year. I'll give you a moment or two to ruminate. It's okay if one specific answer doesn't feel like the main one. Let us choose just one, though, to work with tonight. Again, honoring all that you've been through, all that we as a collective have been through this year. What is it that you wish to cultivate in this new year? And as you hone in on one thing, whether it's a physical thing, a mental, emotional, spiritual, or otherwise, and just hold that in your mind. Envision that as a part of your reality. Then meditate upon the process in which you may take to achieve that intention, that goal, that dream. Think about the tiny things, the daily things that will help you to build or to rebuild. Calm the mind when you start to feel overwhelmed. Hone it back in. You know where you'd like to go, but honoring the time it will take to get there. Focus on the little things, the step-by-step things that you will do to make it happen. Now notice your breath. And from your dreaming, come back to this moment, freshly inspired and illuminated. Maybe you remember a word or a phrase or just a feeling. You can remember that to carry with you through this entire next year. For the opportunities and the obstacles that come your way are still to be seen. But you know where you'd like to go. And you can get there. Let's take another deep breath in. And a deep breath out. And gently wiggle the fingers or sway the spine. And as you're ready, just open up your eyes to end your meditation. Now we can get a little creative. That meditation is certainly not meant to be the end all be all. The reflecting continues. Maybe you were just, as I said, working with one of your dreams. So now with our vision board, we can kind of touch upon the different parts of our experience that we do want to develop in this next year. So as I explain a little bit more about our process with our vision board, have a little snack, have a little tea. As you might be able to see, I have some cookies and a little whole cacao truffle, which is going to be nice and tasty. You can gather that little treat for yourself as I, again, like I said, go through some of the supplies and the process here. Righty. So, whether you're creating on a board or putting it up on a wall, one of the things that we want to think about as we gather our pieces for this art piece, art project, is the personal goals, the personal dreams that we were kind of meditating upon that you want to work on. And as you can see, a couple of mine from last year or from 2020 weren't able to come to fruition. I did not get to do as much swimming as I had planned on. I definitely did the reading that I wanted to, and I definitely did some art and got inspired during this time of isolation. But as I kind of think about this next year, I'm gonna flip through my magazines of they're all different kinds. So whatever you have available is totally cool. Whether it's catalogs, newspapers, gather the little bits, the collage pieces, from wherever. And, having some scissors would be handy. I have my markers and colored pencils in case I don't find a word or a phrase that I really want to include. If an intention from your meditation wants to be on here, this is a good way to do it. You can take a little scrap piece of paper or something and write it out yourself to include. I'll grab a couple of my magazines here, and then eventually, obviously that'll be a little bit of a process, just kind of getting together what you want to include, and then that's when having your scissors and then your glue or whatever kind of paste or tape you're using. I'm using Mod Podge and kind of a crappy old brush that I'll just probably add on to my board from last year. Kind of collage on top of it, save some, recycle some, and then cover up some others that we're just moving on into a new chapter, whatever that may look like for you. So that's a little bit of the process. I am going to step out and make sure that I can check in on the chat to see if anyone's here with me live and send a little love your way. But settle in, get cozy, and get crafty. change our lights back too. There we go. I think we'll take probably about a half an hour, maybe 20 minutes to work on this project. And certainly, and it tends to be this way for me, I tend to kind of start the process and then work on it the next couple days. As the new year approaches, it's nice to just kind of return to it and keep that reflection going. I kind of like to, just if you are looking for some more guidance, I definitely like to just kind of pick something up, start flipping through it and see what catches my eye. It doesn't have to be a certain thing. I'd actually encourage you to not really go in looking for a specific image necessarily, but just be open to the inspiration that finds you. And when you find an image, cut it on out. I'm hoping to do a bit more stargazing, a bit more purposeful stargazing. I did a little bit this year, but now that we're in a house and have a backyard, which is really nice, I hope to break out my telescope a little more often in this coming year. So I have a little galaxy I'm going to include. Sometimes hard not to start reading these magazines. We'll take just a couple more minutes, I think, for this process. As you can maybe see, I'm still going through magazines and picking out stuff to include. And so know that there's no rush on this. If you're still getting your things collected, it's wonderful. If you already have all your stuff that you want to include and you've already started pasting, wonderful as well. And just take this process in your own time. In a moment, I will guide us through a bit of a resolution. So if you do need to clear your space, if you want to lie down in Shavasana, or if you want to return to your meditation seat, you can maybe start to transition in that way. Set your project aside for now. But do your last little touches if you need. Just as a little bit of a share, I suppose. Got a bunch of words that I might combine, perhaps in some ways, some tinier ones. And then I also have some nice big pictures. So those will kind of fill in on my board, and I'll probably take some more time this evening to look through some more magazines, do some more cutting, but that at least begins our process. I hope you find this type of reflection and finding a place for you to stick this up on a wall or set beside your bed or somewhere that you'll see it every day. I know some people keep them in their bathrooms. In our old place, that's where I kept ours. So anywhere that you'd see this stuff on a daily basis is kind of where you might want to put it as a reminder of just what you're looking to create, not on any specific time schedule, but just little bits every day. And that's where the reminders come in. So as I said, finding a place to either you can relax back into a seat or all the way down onto the ground if you'd like. Totally up to you. wherever you've chosen to settle down. Allow for the eyes to close and the body to release. And just be. And savor this unique moment. And there may be observations, there may be thoughts or feelings moving through you. And just take a moment to sink in, not passing by, not glazing over this moment, but really being in it. Having integrated this unforgettable year, we can now step into the next year confidently and calmly, knowing that we know the little things that need to happen to bring our dreams, our ideals to fruition. And along that journey, you can be open. You can be creative with the obstacles and with the opportunities that come your way. Let us seal this ceremony, visualizing, if you please, the full moon. And see it in your mind's eye. And we'll Om 3 times, any pitch or any volume that pleases you. Hands can come to the heart space. And we'll breathe together. Big inhale, big exhale. In for Om. This light and life within me bows to and deeply honors that same light and life in all of you. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here live with me. If you were, I didn't see anyone when I popped out, but maybe you popped in. Say hey if you can. If you join me after the fact, send a little comment, leave a little like, consider subscribing if you haven't yet already. Happy New Year! I really can't believe that this one has finally resolved. It for a while it didn't seem like it would ever end, and then kind of picked up, and here we are. And we'll just see what the next year has in store, my friends. I'm really excited to see how we continue to grow together, continue to connect here on the channel. Please do visit the links below if you haven't had a chance to. We got a podcast, which is a nice way to practice too. There's some soundscapes, guided meditations, unguided meditations, a whole slew of things. I won't talk your ear off too much, but I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm very grateful to you. We are off this week, but we'll pick back up in January in 2021. So, until then, peace and love. Namaste.